Hello everybody and welcome back to Today in the NBA, where we are going to be going over the most recent news about James Harden. So we know that James Harden recently opted into his player option and is going to work with the Philadelphia 76ers on landing a new destination for him via trade. Now James Harden even accepting that player option is a surprise to me. I thought that he was going to go out into the open market and look for more money on a long-term deal. Now for some possible trade destinations. We have the Los Angeles Clippers, the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the New York Knicks. Starting off with the Clippers, they would be giving up Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum, Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, a 2028 and a 2030 first in exchange for James Harden. In this scenario, I don't think either side would be wanting Paul George in the deal, as I think he's a better player than James Harden, which would mean that the 76ers would have to give up more assets, which I don't think they want to do. And the Clippers don't really need assets, they need pieces that will help them win now, as their window is closing. Now for the Clippers, I think that this is a great deal, as they already have a very deep roster, and they are severely lacking in the playmaking department. James Harden brings that, along with filling in the point guard, and brings some more shot creation to the team. And all the Clippers have to give up is depth and a little bit of their future. However, I think they would do this deal as their window is quickly closing, and I don't think they'll get another opportunity to win like this for a very long time. Now for the 76ers, I think the Clippers are probably the preferred destination out of the four teams that I listed, as they're the only team that's not in the East. And out of all the possible trade destinations in the East that I've listed, the team that takes on James Harden gets much better and is probably on the same level as the 76ers, which is not something they want. They want to be able to make the conference finals, maybe even the finals, and then worry about playing against James Harden. In this deal, they get depth and they get some future assets to replace what they gave up to get James Harden in the first place. Overall, this is probably my favourite deal out of the four possible that I've got listed. Now for the next trade offer, we have James Harden going to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Victor Oladipo, Nikola Jovic, a 2027 first, and 3 seconds. I think that this is probably the best deal in terms of value that the Sixers will get for James Harden. They get a nice young player in Tyler Hero, future assets in those seconds and the first, and a young player in Nikola Jovic, who was a first round pick last year. I think that the Heat do this deal as James Harden is a definite upgrade over Tyler Hero, and he can also replace some of the Kyle Lowry and Gabe Vincent playmaking, so that you don't need to play Kyle Lowry 20-something minutes a night in case Gabe Vincent leaves in free agency. Also, I think that the Heat would do this deal as they've been reported to be looking at big-name free agents on the trade market. An example of this was Bradley Beal, who the owner refused to let Pat Riley trade for, as he didn't want to be paying him that much money on Bradley Beal's final year of his contract. Now with James Harden, this isn't a problem, as it's only a 1-year deal, so I definitely do think that Pat Riley could convince his owner that the deal is worth it. Now for my third favourite deal, I have James Harden going to the Knicks for RJ Barrett, Isaiah Hartenstein, Obi Toppin, and 3 firsts. This is pretty solid return on James Harden, as the 76ers get RJ Barrett, who's a solid young player. They get Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a great backup centre. They get Obi Toppin, who's a stretch 4 with potential, and then they get the 3 firsts. Chances are though, those 3 firsts aren't going to be too valuable, which is why there are 3 of them included in this deal. The first one from Milwaukee in 2025 probably won't be that good unless something crazy happens where Giannis requests a trade and the team just completely bottoms out. Now both of the picks from Detroit and Washington are both lottery protected, and chances are Washington will definitely be in the lottery next year. Detroit may not be, and it might be, pick number 16. That Washington pick is very heavily protected, so chances are that it won't convey until very far down the line. It may not even convey as a first, maybe 2 seconds. Now I think that New York does this deal because they've been on the market for a star for a while now, and this deal finally gives them that start, and James Harden's someone that I think could definitely play well with what New York has been building. However, this trade probably doesn't turn them into a true contender, so I don't think they should do it, but knowing New York, this does seem like a trade that they would do. Also, seeing as they are such a big market, I think that they would have a very good chance of retaining James Harden after this trade, as he does only have 1 year on his deal after he accepts this player option. Overall, I think that this is a realistic trade for both teams, but I don't think that it's going to happen, and the only reason that I really included New York as a trade destination for James Harden is because of Adrian Wojnarowski's comments on possible trade destinations. And now finally we have a sign and trade with the Milwaukee Bucks. I have the Bucks sending Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, 3 seconds and a 2029 first to Philadelphia in exchange for James Harden and Furkan Korkmaz. Now in the trade shown on screen, I have signed Chris Middleton to a new deal worth 4 years, $162.2 million. Now this deal starts at $36 million and goes up by 8% each year as it was signed using his bird rights. This is just a placeholder deal, however, and is by no means a prediction of what I think is going to happen. It's more just to show that this trade is possible. Now this deal I think would be almost guaranteed to happen if the two teams weren't in the same conference. Both teams get an excellent return for what they're sending out. Milwaukee gets an upgrade over Chris Middleton and James Harden, while also adding some shooting and Furkan Korkmaz, even though in this deal he is more just there as salary filler. Now for Philadelphia, it is a bit of a downgrade from James Harden, but it does give them a player with championship level experience in Chris Middleton. Also, Chris Middleton has proven that he is a great player alongside a star big man. Even though Giannis and Embiid do have very different play styles, I still think that Chris Middleton would mesh excellently with Joel Embiid's style of play. And in exchange for the little bit of the downgrade that they're getting from James Harden, the Philadelphia 76ers managed to pick up Bobby Portis, who is an excellent role player and was 3rd place in 6th Man of the Year last year, and would be an amazing contributor for the 76ers off the bench or in their starting lineup. Now I think it's pretty much a guarantee, however, that this deal doesn't go through, as it means that the Milwaukee Bucks are probably getting better and the Philadelphia 76ers are at best staying the same. The 76ers wouldn't do this deal, as if they trade James Harden, they're trying to make a win now move, and this deal does make it harder for them to make it out of the second round. Anyway, that's all the trade ideas that I have. I think that the Clippers are definitely the most likely landing spot for James Harden, whether that's giving up Paul George or not. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.